Hey everyone, I'm Steve Nash.
And I'm Felicia, and this is our review of the Nile card game.
In the Nile, players are trying to grow and harvest as many crops as possible. In the box, you'll find a deck of cards which contains 5 types of crops. Speculation cards which have 2 types of crops on each card, a flood card which is used to determine what crops can be harvested, and finally a locust plague card which destroys crops. To set up the game, put the flood card in the middle of the table. Shuffle all other cards except the plague card and deal out 5 to each player. Now shuffle in the plague card and put the deck next to the flood card. You're now ready to start.
There are 5 steps in each turn. The first step is the flood. Flip over the top card onto the flood card. Now, this card determines what crops can be harvested but can't be planted this turn. The second step is to harvest. So the player with a field of the same flood card can harvest 1 crop from that field. So if the flood card is lettuce, the player who has the lettuce field can take 1 lettuce and place it face down in front of him. That pile is called the storage pile. The third step is trade. To trade, you can discard 2 cards to draw a card, or you can discard 2 cards to flip a new flood card. You can also discard from your storage pile. The fourth step is to plant new crops or speculate. To plant a new field, you need at least 2 of the same types or 2 of different types. If you want to plant the same type of crop as another player, your field has to be bigger than his. If it is, the other player must discard his whole field. Instead of planting crops, you can speculate. You can play 1 or 2 speculation cards during this step. When the next player flips his flood card and you have a speculate card with that crop on it, you draw 3 cards. For example, if you played a speculation card with flax on it and another one which also contains flax on it, if the next flood card is flax, you will draw 3 cards for each speculation card which has flax on it, making it a total of 6 cards. The final step is to draw 2 cards. This ends your turn.
When the plague card gets drawn from the deck, it is announced and the player with the largest field loses that field. If there is a tie, all those fields are destroyed. Once all cards have been drawn, reshuffle the cards and start again. Do this as many times as there are players. When the final draw pile is empty, the game ends. So if you're playing 3 players, play through the deck 3 times. Basically, players are trying to harvest as many crops as possible before the game ends. At the end of the game, individually, players separate the cards in their storage piles by crop type and then line them up 5 piles from left to right, starting with the crop type of which they had the least cards, even if it's 0, and ending with the crop type which had the most. Players then start comparing their piles. Whichever player has the most cards in their leftmost pile, the crop type with the least cards, is the winner. If there is a tie, the tied players compare their next pile and so on. In the event of the exact tie for all 5 piles, play again.
It's a fun game with lots of strategy and speculation. The production quality of the cards isn't that good. It has variant rules for 2 players, but we recommend playing 4 or 5 players. It's a really easy game to play, but the rulebook needs examples and images, at least the layout of the game or something. Overall, it's a good card game, and we're giving it a 7.5 on 10.